Hi, Christy here. In this video, I'm going to show you how to do all of the Jin Shin Jyutsu organ function energy self-helps. There are 12 of them, and I'm going to demonstrate each one. The first is the stomach. You take your hand, bring it across your face, put it on your cheekbone. Your other hand goes on the same side, directly under your collarbone. Safety Energy Lock 21 it's called, and Safety Energy Lock 22. And then you do the other side. One hand on the cheekbone, one hand under the collarbone. The next, also in the first depth, is the spleen. In the spleen, one hand goes on the tailbone, and the other hand goes below the ankle bone. So tailbone plus Safety Energy Lock 5. Again, do it on both sides. One hand on tailbone, one hand on the 5. You do not cross hands across the body to reach the ankle. It's the same side. Second depth. In the second depth, we have lung and large intestine. The lung, you hug your lung. One hand goes to the bottom of the ribs. The other hand crosses to the top, right below the collarbone, hugging the lung. Again, the bottom hand goes to the bottom of the ribs. The top hand crosses over to below the collarbone. Next one is the large intestine in that depth. You cross your hand over to what's called Safety Energy Lock 11, and you hold your finger side to side. A little easier to see it if I do it from this side. Again, cross your hand over to the 11, hold that finger side to side. Now, third depth. Third depth is gallbladder and liver. Gallbladder, one hand goes on the forehead, the other hand goes on the neck. No crossing over the body. And you do the same on the other side. The next is the liver. One hand goes on the 4, which is the occipital bone on your head, and the other is on the 22 under the collarbone. As you can see, again, no crossing over. One hand on the 4, the other hand on the 22. The next depth, fourth depth, is the bladder and the kidney. The bladder flow, you cross your hand over the opposite side of the neck, and the other hand goes on the sit bone. The other side, one hand on the sit bone, one hand on the opposite side of the neck. The kidney, you take your hand and put it on your pubic bone. The other hand crosses over the body and holds the pinky toe side to side. Again, to do the opposite way, one hand on the pubic bone, the other hand crosses the body to reach the opposite pinky toe, holding it side to side. The next depth is the fifth depth. That is the heart and the small intestine. With the heart, you lift your hand up and you put your other hand in the little space between the bones and the wrist. Again, bring a hand up, put your fingers in the little space between the bones on the wrist. Next is the small intestine. One hand, again, like it was in the heart, right there on the shoulder, the other on the 13. So the 22 is the thicker collarbone, there's a thinner bone, and then there's the 13, often feels a little upraised or thick. Then you do the other way, 11 plus 13, Safety Energy Lock 11 plus 13. And finally, we have the sixth depth. Sixth depth is diaphragm and umbilicus. With the diaphragm flow, one hand, oh, stepped on my cat. One hand goes to the base of the ribs, the other hand crosses to the inner elbow. Base of the ribs and inner elbow for diaphragm flow. Finally, umbilicus, one hand goes to the forehead, the 20s above the eyes, and the other hand goes in the elbow crease. Again, crossing the hand above the eye and the other in the elbow crease. I look forward to seeing you in the next video, and in the meantime, please go be brilliant.